We are concerned with religious experience because of the significant impact it has on many people. These people report that they are actually different after their exceptional experience, and it is difficult to argue that a change like that is unimportant. The specific experience is attributed to aspects of the mind and brain. That is, the brain mediates our relationship with a higher being or some mystical aspect of our perception, just as it mediates our perception of more common occurrences. Certain areas of the brain are particularly important with respect to mystical experiences, or times when the recognition of a higher being is brought into consciousness. Critical brain regions that we're going to look at are tertiary association areas, where secondary association areas of different sense modalities overlap. These are the regions of the highest integration of sensory information, and they are critical to our normal perceptions of the world. The first of these areas is the visual association area. It is involved in the highest level of visual function and analysis. It allows for an emotional response to be directed towards the objects within the visual field. Brain regions important to the study of deafferentation include the amygdala and hippocampus, and they are situated within the visual association area. The next area is the orientation association area. It informs us of the position of our arms, legs, and other body parts, and it allows us to develop a sense of where we are in space. It also allows us to create a three-dimensional view dependent on visual and auditory inputs. Next is the attention association area. This area is involved in forming conceptual thoughts and helps in forming complicated visual images. It is involved in space-time orientation like the orientation association area, but it relies on input from other parts of the brain as opposed to senses collecting data from the outside world. The last of these regions is the verbal conceptual association area. It is responsible for generating abstract concepts and relating them to words. It is the most integrated of these four areas as it is closely connected to many other areas of the brain. Deafferentation of these tertiary association areas can lead to exceptional experiences. Normally, information travels freely between brain areas and between hemispheres of the brain. When deafferentation occurs, incoming information, or afferents, are cut off. This cutting off can be partial or total. It can be caused by surgery, a tumor, or something functional, such as meditation. Deafferentation is used to treat epilepsy. Hemispheres don't interact after surgery, preventing overexcitation and seizure. Normally, the function of any one part of the brain is dependent on a number of other parts. But when deafferentation occurs, neurons from a specific part fire independently of anything else. These neurons fire according to their internal logic. The internal logic derives from the function for which the structure evolved. Intuitively, it seems like it should do a pretty good job on its own, but results differ from normal because these neurons lack necessary information from other areas. Without input from other areas, only the internal logic is responsible for perception. We can use the orientation association area as an example. This, again, is the area responsible for us having a sense that we exist in space and time. If this area is totally deafferentated, it can no longer receive input from the senses, and hearing or seeing cannot help to develop a sense of how long an experience lasts. In mystical experiences like this one, the orientation association area attempts to develop a sense of space and time using its own internal logic. Generally, space and time are described as infinite or non-existent during these experiences. Deafferentation of the amygdala, hippocampus, and the neocortex of the temporal lobe produce exceptional human experience. Researchers have found that electrical stimulation of the right amygdala and right hippocampus cause hallucinatory experiences. Rhythmic ritual can produce the same effect.